I grew up in San Jose, East San Jose, McLaughlin, East Side area. Not a good student at all. I barely graduated high school. What the? I walked across the stage pregnant.
Joined now by the Community Advisor for Women's March San Jose, Chandra.
I had to go to night school. I had to do extra classes. I had to beg, you know, like all that to graduate. So I was never really like, nobody would ever think that I would have been inducted into the Eastside Hall of Fame. I grew up like with my family telling me how pretty I was, and that was the focus. It was never school. It was never you're gonna get prepared to go to college, you're gonna have a great career or anything. It was all focused on how I looked. So that made me insecure, right? That made me always worrying about what I look like to this day. After I had my baby, I was like, I want to help other teen moms, other women who are going through this, understand that they can do better, that they can do more. They don't have to settle for being a teen mom. When I went home to tell my parents when I was in high school that I was pregnant, and my dad was disappointed, my mom was crying, and my uncle was like, Chandra, you might as well give up. You're gonna be on welfare. You're gonna probably have a few more kids. Like, good job, you know, like. Wow. So I remember that, and what he doesn't realize is that that's what fueled me to this day. From that point on, I had the desire just to do more and to show him and to prove him wrong. So every job that I went at, I would just excel. I don't even know how I thought or heard about a teen pregnancy prevention. But I went there and I went to the director and I said, you guys gotta hire me, because I was a teen mom and I would help, I could help these other women and these other young girls. And they were like, no, well, you don't have the credentials and you don't have this and that. But I begged, I said, just bring me in and I promise I'll prove myself. The executive director of that organization, his name was Tommy Fulcher, longtime community leader here in San Jose, and he passed a few years ago. But he saw something in me and he always gave me a chance, and he always would put me in positions around powerful people. So I saw how community worked. I saw how politics worked with community. And that's kind of how my journey became, you know, to work in community and politics. And then I worked with a few other nonprofit organizations, sat on commissions, got involved in politics and in campaigns. And I seen like where would the campaigns go for money? I mean, when they needed money, who did they go to? They went to the people with money. That's who nonprofits went to, right? And then you have who do the politicians go to for money? I mean, what is the first thing that they're focused on? And it's money. Everything has to do with money, right? So I said, okay, well, what if more women had more money, especially women of color? Like, what difference could we really make? Because the reason why a lot of, I would say, white people have power is because they're the donors. They're giving the money to the organizations. They're giving the money to the politicians, so they have the ear of these people, right? So what if women who really cared about our community had deep pockets at the same time, so we could really make a difference?
You're one of the most active people on social media. You're always on top of it, always telling us, inspiring us. And so then you had this brilliant idea of the Powerhouse Academy. How did that come about?
Well, I was working with a coach, so I had already left my job. I already left my job and said I was going to be a full-time entrepreneur. I was going to be like a mentor. I was going to do trainings on nonprofits, how to write grants, because that's what I knew how to do. And my coach was like, well, we got to come up with something more profitable for you that is more impactful, because you're a powerhouse. She said that. And she's like, right. And then the light bulb, and the light bulb went on. I was like, yeah. And then I had another friend, we and her were talking about it. And I was telling her the story, and she goes, the Powerhouse, Chandra, Powerhouse. That's what you should call it. And I said, she's like, you're a powerhouse. Women want to know how to become a powerhouse. Teach them how to get to where you are now.
And you're doing fantastic.
Thank you.
You have a lot of followers. Great, successful stories. You have many of them. Which ones are the ones that you're most proud of?
I would say like Shireen Rivera, that I always share about her story, because Shireen came to me, she wrote a book, very ambitious young woman, had 2 kids, has 2 kids, She had her grandma, her sick, ill grandma staying with her deaf uncle living with her, but very ambitious, very, very ambitious, and was trying to figure out what to do with this book that she wrote. And it was like a book of poetry, and she was just like, she wanted Oprah to have her book. Like, she would go and sit in Santa Barbara, where Oprah has a house, in a cafe that Oprah would frequent, just to hopefully run into Oprah one day. And she'll tell the story too, you know, both of her parents, you know, her mom is homeless, her dad was in prison, just a lot of things going on in her life, but she wanted it so bad. And I seen her desire, and somebody told her to connect with me, and we connected, and I seen it in her too. And I think my gift, I have this innate gift to see somebody's vision before they do. So we created her business. Yeah. And now, like, she's been in business over a year now. She's making over 6 figures. She's helped judges write books. She's helped millionaires write books. She's written over 17 books. Everything she's gone through, she's still made a way. Toya? And Toya Fernandez, she is the activist. To me, she reminds me of me. 5-6 years ago, coming up in the community. She came to me, somebody told her, find Chandra, talk to her. So she found me, we had coffee, and from there, like, she joined Powerhouse, and she's been on the move since then. She was a dean at a charter school. She was able to quit the charter school and be the powerful activist that she wanted to be. She's been able to, like, there's signs at City Hall with Black Lives Matter that are up on banners. She did that. Keep sharing the results. You have to make sure your clients are getting the results, all that stuff. You know, because we have like September, October, November, December, that's 4 months. So we got to keep the branding and keep building the branding to get there. Most women that come to me, the most successful ones, they got it. And something that my coach taught me was borrow my confidence until you have it yourself. Borrow my confidence, right? Like, because we don't, you know, sometimes just like my coach did it for me. Chandra, you're a badass. Look at your resume. And we still are kind of like, I'm okay. I'm nobody special. Yes. But because we want to be humble. Yeah. We want to be humble, but humble doesn't serve us all the time, right? We want to be humble, but why? Why do we need to be humble? Who said we have to be humble? We should be proud of our accomplishments. You know your impact, and you know how powerful you are, and you start acting like that. Humble keeps us quiet. Humble makes us stand in the background, right? When we have opinions, when we have ideas, it makes us say, well, maybe not right now, maybe I'll bring it up later, and then we never bring it up. We're taught to be quiet. We're taught to be in the background. Taught to be quiet. Because if we speak our minds, then we're called something else. Exactly, or a bitch.
My name is Lakeisha McDonald. I am the CEO of LRM Growth Solutions, Professional Development and Training Experts. I'm also the founder of the Win Mentality Bootcamp, as well as the host of the Key Hive podcast and radio show. I'm a career empowerment coach. I help individuals meet, reach, and exceed their career goals by teaching them to create and execute a plan. I spent a lot of time moving from one job to the next, giving everybody all of my very best ideas, giving everybody all of the very best of my times, never fully being compensated or appreciated, living paycheck to paycheck. So I began to invest in myself. I did that by hiring coaches, people who knew how to get me further than where I was taking myself at that time. When you're thinking about a career, that you're taking into consideration not just the pay, but the quality of life that it adds as well. I followed Chandra for a really long time on social media, and I knew that she was results driven. I also believed, even though I had never met her in person, that she wanted me to win. It's given me the opportunity to connect with other powerful women, which has helped build my confidence tremendously. It's allowed me to think out of the box. It's allowed me to believe that everything that I was ever told was impossible is very possible if you invest in yourself, and more importantly, if you believe in yourself. Come knowing that you're going to be accountable to learn and to execute, and that if you really want to be successful, do what she tells you to do. It works.
I know that you want women to be rich, but why specifically or especially Black and brown women?
Because we are already behind, right? I think we're already behind, and we need to. And just like I mentioned, women were funding these big initiatives going on in Georgia and you would say red states, right? When it came to politics. Black women, especially, and brown women were behind the scenes making it happen. They were finding the rich women that had deep pockets, that knew how important this was, the Beyoncés, right, the Oprahs, you know, to come and fund things like this, right, because they needed it. So I don't want it just to be Beyonce, just to be Oprah. You know, when we think of Latinos with money, we think of Jennifer Lopez. You know, we're not. What about us people here? Yeah. Like our community. Let's build more women that have, we don't gotta be billionaires and millionaires, but have pockets and understand the importance of where we can do, what we can do with that money. And that's why it's important for me to help Black and brown women, and also because that's who comes to me for support. And that's who I am. So I want, you know, I want to help them. And I want, if I could do it, you know, if I could do it, then they can do it.
My name is Miriam Cruz, and I'm from San Jose, California. I'm a woman empowerment coach, and my business is Miriam Speaks. I work with women. I'm a woman empowerment coach, and I work with women. I help them enhance their confidence and ultimately live the life that they desire. What motivated me to do this work is actually Chandra. I remember meeting up with her once, not knowing exactly where I was headed in life. And after that one meeting, actually like 30 minutes during our meeting, I decided that I wanted to help other women who were struggling with postpartum depression just like I was. She actually transformed my life. And like I said, within the first 30 minutes, I knew what I wanted to do. So working with Chandra allowed me to learn more about myself, gain confidence within myself, look at my past experiences and use them to fuel my future, and also to help other women. Working with Chandra was the best gift because she is straight up. She's very honest. She will hold you accountable. She's very serious, and she will teach you how to start and how to really enhance your business. So to me, it was such a gift to work with her, and I think everyone should work with someone who's able to uplift you and help you out when you mainly need them. And she's definitely that for me.
I can have more impact, you know, helping more people become leaders, more people becoming, you know, have more money to give to their communities, to contribute to their communities. My impact is bigger if I am not a politician. So I decided not to, and I decided to focus on my business and just to do that and learn to say no. Because before I couldn't. Have boundaries with leaders that said, you should be, Chandra, you're doing a disservice if you don't run for office. Like, you did all these years in your community, give back to your community in this way. And I'm like, I'm doing it my way.
Thank you.
I'm doing it my way. You don't have to tell me how I'm contributing back to my community, because I'm doing it my way. I refine it every year. Like, what can I do to improve my program?
But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of work.
Yeah. I have a lot of these women, they trust me, and I'm like a mentor and a friend and a mama to them almost in a way. And I don't want to cut them off like, oh, all business. I'm just your coach. I'm just your coach. And it's really hard. We're programmed to think smaller, to go get a job, you know, 401k benefits.
9 to 5.
Nothing's wrong with that. But that's not all. That's the American dream, right? To some people, and to what we are programmed to learn from TV, from our own parents, from them working hard, what we saw, right? But I want them to see the possibilities, that we're all talented. We all have a hidden talent that, you know, that is deep down inside of us, that God has been telling us to go do, and we're not listening. We're not listening. The only difference that I did was I listened. I felt it, and I listened, and I did it, and I took action on it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so teaching them to listen to that gut, listen to that tap on the shoulder that you keep hearing, like, girl, go do that idea that you've been having for 10 years. I want to make them believe, because that's like the first thing. A lot of them don't believe they can do it. So I had to go and do it. It was a risk. I had to, you know, I credit cards, pay coaches, but I paid it all back already.
Definitely.
So teaching women to believe in themselves. I know it's risky. A lot of people are like, I don't want to go in debt, Chandra. I don't want to put nothing on a credit card, Chandra. I know. Trust me, I know. If you put as much work into this, and I'm going to help you, you can make it happen. But you got to do the work.
Exactly.
Right? You got to do the work. So it is scary for women. It's very, very scary. But I try to make them believe so it's not as scary anymore. I want to be able to grow Powerhouse Academy and have other Powerhouse Academies throughout the whole country. So have more women that are like me, that were leaders in their community, that are influential, have some power, train them to just give it in my curriculum and license it out. across the country, and they can build other powerhouses across the country. That's my big vision. That was my pre-COVID vision, and then COVID happened.
Yes.
But now we'll get back to that. But just continue to build up more women, and my whole focus is not to be famous. It's really just to build more women to be entrepreneurs and to have deeper pockets and more money.
And badasses, like you said.
Yes. I have like one woman named Samantha. Samantha came to me and wanted to join Powerhouse 2 or 3 cohorts ago. And she's a dental assistant. Okay, so she's working in a dental office, but she had her little side consulting business, helping dentists get OSHA ready, prepare their offices. She just knew how to do that. So she would do it, dibble and dabble in it on the side. She joined Powerhouse. She wanted to make it bigger. So like now, she's only working at a dentist's office one day. She just opened her own storefront, consulting and teaching. She trains and she has contracts with organizations to be able to train dental assistants so they can go out in the field and work as dental assistants, but also she's already quit her job and she's doing it full time now, and she's teaching. She's doing what she loves. She has the freedom. She's actually like right behind me to go buy a Range Rover herself. She's like, I'm doing it. She's like, I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna do it too. But that was her desire. She didn't want to work for as a dental assistant anymore, and she didn't have to. I'm like, if you were able to get a contract here and a contract here, there's more of those out there. Once I was able to show her how to pitch and how to get out there and market herself, visibility, reach out, position herself as a consultant and find that business, she knew how to go find that business.
My name is Jasmine Partida. I am from Sacramento, and I am the owner of the Simplicity of Socials. I help overwhelmed entrepreneurs simplify and strategize their digital marketing and messaging so that they can actually reach more of their ideal clients for larger sales. The thing about Chandra is that she shows through example. So she gives us this pathway of how we're going to get to where we're going, and she gives us inspiration of where we're going. So when she empowers a woman, when she empowers us through the Powerhouse Academy, what she's actually doing is also exemplifying what that looks like, because so often we're in these muddy waters and we don't know where we're going or what it could look like to be in power and to hold these positions. And she just shows us continually stepping forward and helping us come out into the light. I've been able to build online communities. One of my communities is You Are Now RBG, and that is over 100,000, 117,000 members. And we help empower people to connect with issues that really speak to their hearts. And I'm able to teach people how to do community organizing for them to make change in their school board, in their city council, at their commissions, at their state levels. And we're helping build out that empowerment across the nation that way. And a lot of that is through the training I got through Chandra. Something else about Chandra, she really believes in taking action in your community, but a lot of times in order to create real systemic change, we need to be at the table, right? So we need to be in those conversations. So something that Chandra has shown us is how being at the table is something that brings your community voice with you. So something that I'm now doing is looking at running for office, something I would not have thought about doing 5 years ago. And it is because Chandra believed in me. She can see your blind spots and she helps pull you through those. I didn't have the confidence to do the things I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to get, kind of had a sense of what the impact I wanted to have, but I just didn't have the confidence to do it myself. And Chandra literally said to me in one of our phone calls, borrow my confidence until you have your own. And now I have the confidence because of Chandra having lent me hers. She is the coach that will be with you even past your training. She's really in it to help you. So you go through the training, she makes sure you have all the tools, and then she continues to make sure you have tools. She doesn't just kind of throw you off a cliff on your own. She continues the journey with you, and she creates this community of powerhouses where we are continually connecting and helping each other as we go through these journeys. So one of the things that's so great about working with Chandra is she's your coach for life. She's always there with you.
I wish I had gotten a coach. I actually wish I never went to college. I kind of regret that now. I have school debt, but I wish I put all that money into coaching, because that's really what made a difference in my career and what I needed. So I wish I figured this out a long time ago, but I think timing is everything. It's never too late.
Yes.
It's never too late, because even if you're 50 years old, you still have 30 years that you could put into a business if you wanted to, into your dream, whatever your mission was. Like some people think that age, 40s and 50s, is too old. And I tell people, no, this is prime time because you're more focused. You have to be serious and want it. I'm really excited about what we're doing for Powerhouse this coming up year. We're looking at working with the most ambitious women to take them to the whole nother level. You know, we have women that have dreams and have desires that they've been sitting on for a long time. And it's about time that we help them and guide them and provide them the tools and resources that are going to help them build a profitable, purposeful, and impactful business. And that's my main purpose, is creating impactful movements that are profitable businesses. Who do you know that's doing that, right? We are building women, specifically women of color, to create movements that are changing people's lives, and creating more women that have deeper pockets, because that's important. When we have women that have deeper pockets, we have women that are contributing to their communities, contributing to political campaigns, running for office themselves, really making an impact that they've always wanted to make. And that's so important on where we take Powerhouse Academy for 2022 and beyond. This year, what I'm specifically focusing on 4 types of powerhouses. We have the movement powerhouse, right? The movement powerhouse is me, right? I'm the avatar for the movement powerhouse, is where I created a movement. I had an idea and had a vision that I said, you know, I don't see anywhere. And I wanted to create it. And that's how I came up with the Powerhouse Academy. We also have the political powerhouse. This is a person who has a desire to run for office, leadership in their community some way, somehow. They just don't know how to get started, okay? But they also have an entrepreneurial side to them to create a business along with that. The third type of powerhouse is a business powerhouse, right? And our avatar for that one is Jennifer Lopez. And a lot of people don't see Jennifer Lopez as a CEO, but I do, because I am a big fan of hers. And I know that not only is she successful in music, in dancing, but also in movies, right, as an actor, but she's also a CEO, and she has several businesses that she runs, and she's well-rounded, right? She's doing everything, and she's built multi-million-dollar companies and very focused on business. And then you have Oprah, right? The inspirational powerhouse. And that is, do you want to be on stages? Do you want to inspire the masses? You just don't know how to get on stages. You don't know how to get your message out to the world. The Powerhouse Playbook portal has all of our trainings. It has sales training, it has marketing training. You have to make sure that your mind is right before you can build on top of that. So I created a course called Rewrite Your Mental Constitution. And in your Rewrite Your Mental Constitution, we're talking about how to build your mindset, how to build a strong mindset so you can catch and switch those negative thoughts to positive thoughts, right? You have to be able to turn, because sometimes we doubt ourselves and we tell ourselves, I can't do it. It's going to cost too much, right? We have to be able to switch those negative thoughts to say we can do it. We can afford it. We can make a way. It can happen. People need me. This is my purpose. God didn't put this idea on me for me to just give up, for me not to do something about it. We all have that little thing inside of us that has been picking at us for a long time, saying to start it, to do it, now's your time. And the unfortunate thing that is a lot of us don't. A lot of us wait. A lot of us ignore it. And we push it to the side because we do the things that we feel like we have to do. We do the things that people have told us we have to do. Go get a job, right? Work a 9 to 5 and do the cookie cutter type of way that everybody has taught to do. And that's not always the right way. Once you're around other women that are doing the same thing and are making unlimited amounts of money, closing contracts, closing clients, and you realize, wow, I can make $10,000 to $20,000 a month and work for myself, be home with my family, have a schedule where I create my own schedule. This is the freedom, and this is everything that's about. I've had clients that are able to spend more time with their kids because now they're running their own schedule and they don't have to worry about commuting, traveling to work, traveling back to work, picking them up from daycare, all of those things, because they make their own schedule and they work for themselves and make unlimited income.